All right, today we're talking about those really strange, fleeting moments. You know the ones I mean. They just pop up in our otherwise totally normal lives. They're kind of like little glitches in the matrix that you can't quite explain, but for some reason, you just can't forget them either.
I mean, really, think about it for a second. What's the most unexplainable moment you've ever had? I bet something just popped into your head, right? We've all had them. Maybe it was a crazy coincidence, or a really strong sense of déjà vu, or just a brief, totally bizarre interaction with a stranger. Well, we're going to explore one of those exact moments right now.
Okay, let's get right into it. This is a true story about someone who was just, going about their day, doing their thing, when suddenly the script for ordinary life got completely ripped up and thrown out the window. So I want you to picture this scene. It's about as mundane as it gets, right? You've got the familiar smell of popcorn in the air, the low hum of the building. It's just another shift. Our narrator here is in their work uniform, they've got their cleaning tools in hand, and they are completely zoned in on their routine. And then, this happens. Just out of nowhere, a complete stranger walks up. No introduction, no, excuse me, nothing. Just this sudden, totally unexpected, and very direct action. I mean, can you even imagine the surprise? And that's it. That is the entire interaction. Just this brief, silent moment of really intense eye contact. And then it's over, just as quickly as it began. She just walks away, leaving our usher standing there, holding their broom, completely and utterly stunned. So the aftermath is just this mix of feelings, right? It was so weird, so confusing. The details even got a little blurry in their mind afterwards. But what's interesting is, it wasn't a bad feeling. Not at all. It was just so far out of the ordinary that it became this really memorable moment. Almost like a strange, silent compliment that just stuck with them. So what do you even call a moment like that? A moment that feels like it's from a totally different reality, but it's happening right here, right in the middle of your own. Well, it turns out there's actually a word for it. And that word is preternatural. It is the perfect term for these kinds of experiences. The ones that feel, well, beyond natural, but they're not quite supernatural either. They're just different. And here's the key thing to get. This isn't about ghosts or magic spells or anything like that. It's simply about something being so unusual, so out of place, that it just feels like it shouldn't be happening in our normal, everyday world. That brief, silent encounter at the movie theater, yep, that's a perfect example of a preternatural moment. And this idea, it leads to a really beautiful way of thinking about these moments. It's all about learning to see the magic that might just be hiding in plain sight all around us. Just let this sink in for a second. The ordinary is just the extraordinary wearing pajamas. I love that. It suggests that all this wonder and mystery is actually all around us, all the time. We just don't always recognize it because, well, it's dressed down in the comfy, familiar clothes of our everyday reality. So let's break that down, because it's such a great idea. The pajamas, that's our everyday life, right? Our daily routines, our work clothes, the commute to work. But underneath all of that boring, plain stuff, you can find the extraordinary. Those little moments of wonder, of hidden mystery, of unexpected connection, just like our usher experienced. Here's another great way to think about it. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, right? Just staring at the bumper in front of you. It's a totally mundane, gray scene. And then boom! A brilliant, stunning double rainbow just cuts across that gray sky. That's it right there, the extraordinary, just bursting right through the ordinary. Okay, so why should we even care about these fleeting, weird moments? Are they just random glitches in the system, or do they actually serve a purpose? Well, it turns out they add some incredible, real value to our lives. First off, they totally interrupt the ordinary. They jolt us right out of autopilot and can turn a totally predictable day into something genuinely interesting. Then, they create these really powerful, lasting memories, what the source calls these little pockets of interest that just sit there in your brain. They become these little stories you can pull out later when you need a little boost. And maybe most importantly, they add a real depth and value to life. They make every single day worth living, just in case one of these moments is waiting around the corner for you. So, the big takeaway here is pretty simple. Just keep your eyes open. The extraordinary is definitely out there. It might just be wearing pajamas. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. What small, strange, unexpected, or preternatural moment will you notice today?